Joe is one of an estimated 600 homeless veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan. That's not many compared with the 200,000 or so from all wars who are currently homeless. But these vets are showing up even more quickly than after Vietnam.
Today, about 11% of the adult homeless population are veterans. The majority are single, live in urban areas, and suffer from mental illnesses, alcohol or substance abuse, or co-occurring disorders.
Nearly half of homeless veterans served during the Vietnam era. Two-thirds served our country for at least 3 years, and one-third were stationed in a war zone.
In addition to the complex set of factors influencing all homelessness, a large number of displaced and at-risk veterans live with lingering effects of post-traumatic stress disorder, also known as PTSD, and substance abuse, which are compounded by a lack of family and social support networks.
Additionally, military occupations and training are not always transferable to the civilian workforce, placing some veterans at a disadvantage when competing for employment.
A top priority for homeless veterans is safe, secure, clean housing that offers a supportive environment free of drugs and alcohol.
America gives thanks to each and every one of these courageous men and women who dedicate their lives to ensure the safety of those at home. In order to fully give thanks, America needs to ensure their health, safety, and security following their service. This is an issue for all levels of government, federal, state, and local. When you've seen these types of things, is there a common pattern to, is it usually disabled veterans, like physically disabled veterans that have a harder time kind of readapting to society, or have you just observed anything kind of common about that?
Yeah, okay. Well, this gets into an extremely touchy subject amongst veterans. Okay. And there's a lot going on with this particular subject, with homelessness and post-traumatic stress disorder and substance abuse and other things. It's a very touchy subject because you got to remember, and this in no way reflects poorly on veterans. That's why it's so touchy. But remember that in days past, now when I entered the service, I enlisted. I was the last year. Prior to that, they were draftees. Okay, so everyone went. That means society. You moved a huge chunk of society, the 18-year-old males, into a service, and all of the problems that are associated with society, all of them, transferred with that chunk of men. So now the question is, well, did their time in the service cause these problems? Some, yes. Some, absolutely not. They were part of the general society when they moved over to the service. So now if you take all of those people and move them into a thing, the Army, well, did the Army cause those problems, the psychological problems? Did the Army cause the antisocial behavior? Did the Army cause those problems, or did they move with the people when they went in the service? How do you differentiate?
With that, do you think it's fair, or is it unjust that there are some men and women who have dedicated their lives for the country that are currently on the streets?
Homelessness is much, much, much more than a veteran problem. In my opinion, our safety net in the United States, starting at the city level, okay, will take care of people. So part of the problem is trying to get people to avail themselves of the system. In the police language, if you will, you got to suck it up. You got to put your big boy pants on and go down and ask for help. And that's not easy.
And at that point, I gave up. I simply gave up. I know I can't work. I have no income coming in. I'm finished. I'm disgusted. And it's not because I'm a veteran or a soldier or somebody who served. That means nothing. You know, we choose to go. No one forced us to go. I'm just saying you should be treated like a human being, for God's sakes. That's all I want. And then I think about the other veterans from other wars, and they're still fighting to this day. It's horrible.
I don't think any drastic changes. I think just keep progressing as we're going now. As these things pop up, they have to be discussed. They have to be looked at both subjectively and objectively, and moving on. Generally speaking, I think the VA, the government, fellow citizens are doing as best as they can.
Number 1, the government, with a fraction of taxpayer dollars, will build, support, and fund additional subsidized housing for veterans.
2. The GI Bill will be strongly upheld and each veteran will be granted the opportunity to education or training in a particular trade in order to find work.
3. Social workers will be regionalized and veterans will be given full access and contact with these counselors in order to foster mental wellness. Career counselors and recruiters will also be provided to help the veterans regain stability and find work.
Lastly, a number of support groups and social support network groups will be made more accessible for the veterans.
Consequently, the formation of many of these programs will cost the taxpayers a small amount more each month. However, they can be certain that this portion of their taxes will directly affect and improve veteran conditions after service.
These men and women are some of the bravest and most selfless in America. Taxpayers shouldn't have a problem paying an extra few dollars a month for those who risk their lives each day.